Hey everyone, I've been screwing around with waterfalls and items in the game. My goal is to try to create some kind of redstone-less random number generator, and that didn't really happen, but like these aquariums and the chaotic behavior that they exhibit are super cool. So I wanted to actually show a couple of them. So I'm just gonna turn on hitboxes just so it's a little easier to see where all the items are inside. And uh, the goal here was to create chaotic motion in with like a pretty simple low-tech setup. And chaos mathematically usually just means you have some kind of system where small changes in how the system starts running produce big changes with where that system ends up. In this case, the system just means an item moving through water in the game. And so yeah, all the items, started off here, and the small change was just their direction and, that little change in random velocity that items have when they're dropped from a chest. And just after a short time, they all kind of just start circulating evenly, randomly distributed throughout the system here. My plan was to put a pressure, line them all up and put a pressure plate somewhere so that the items would hit the pressure plate and you could get a random jittering effect if you wanted. Sometimes they get stuck in the middle, sometimes they bob back and forth in the middle and then shoot back out and go back into kind of the figure 8 shape that's running here. So you can see there's that initial blob that we started with is still there. You can kind of tell that the right side's denser than the left, but after 1 or 2 minutes of this, they're pretty evenly randomly distributed throughout it. I also thought it'd be fun to use this for a lottery system, so I made a hopper down here that occasionally catches items. Looks like it's full now. Then I had another system here. So this one we're gonna line up the items so it's a little bit more controlled. So they'll all go in with the same downward velocity, but a little bit different placement horizontally. In this system, I put air blocks in the middle, just kind of trying to see how changing the setup could cause changes in the type of chaotic behavior we have. And it did actually create a different category of random behavior. So first of all, you can kind of see the lines for each chest that we put in now. Additionally, you'll notice that the water here is a little bit more smoother. That's because the source blocks underneath extend all the way out under the top layer of flowing water. Here, the source blocks go out 1 block short, so you get this kind of little diagonal dent here that causes different behavior. Okay, so the items move over to one side, and then they fly right back over. And here we have something that mathematicians would call an attractor. So a point in the chaotic system where random motion can actually tend to and stabilize. And you can see the items have actually kind of sorted themselves out into columns, where there's one very thicker column here, and even the randomly placed items elsewhere, you can kind of see columns there. And well, it turns out if you run this thing for 5 minutes, which is all you can run it for because the items vanish after that much longer, 80 to 90% of the items will sort themselves into this kind of main column here. And there's a lot going on with how these work, actually, surprisingly, just because, the speed that an item leaves the flowing water on top is proportional to the square root of the distance back from the front of the flowing water. The items can sometimes ride the stream down all the way to the middle. Sometimes they pop underneath into source blocks that don't have horizontal flow. It's cool to watch. I don't know if this is useful for anything, but for one, it's cool to watch, and two, it's interesting that slight variations in the shape of the water can cause large changes in the type of stability we have in the system. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.